Hello, everybody, and welcome to Martial Olympiad. EMP versus 228 Death from Above. I'm your host, System Belmont, with my partner, Cozind Indigo.
Kia ora everyone from New Zealand, nice to be here.
It is looking to be a nice Div A versus B Week 7 matchup here.
Yeah, this is going to be mouthwatering, and as we've said before, all of these matches in this round, very, very critical. 228 Death from Above have a tough task in going through EMP, but should be a good game.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I know 228's been trying to push hard into making top of this division, so
Yeah, well, it's come down to a four-way race, so they've certainly got their work cut out for them. But hey, they're a good team. They're part of a wider unit that's also very, very good. So today, there's no better team to go up against to try and prove yourself, I guess, than EMP.
just sending map ban information over to these two teams for when we do it, as we both have both teams in lobby, almost ready to go already. It's convenient.
Should be good. So, I mean, just to set the scene, this game is meaningful, obviously, for NA Div B. EMP have already won NA Div A in pretty impressive fashion. Obviously, they were undefeated. They haven't dropped that many drops at all. But this is the crossover match with NA Div B and 228, who currently sit atop the standings in NA Div B alongside Smoke Adders. They need to get as many points as they can. And yeah, just a reminder that each of the drops that they win is worth 5 points. Each loss is 2 points. And given that Smoke Adders have a game in hand against Clan Crossfire, White Knight Legion and Potato Killers also have game in hand against each other. Everyone will be trying to get as many drop wins as they can.
Yeah, it should be a good match today, as we have Frozen City Classic as drop 1, Forest Colony for drop 2 and 3, map ban, which we should probably start looking into now.
Right, so as Belmont said, whilst the map ban is happening, we do have Frozen City Classic Day for the first drop today. And this one, we did see Frozen City Classic already, but it was night. And really the big difference between that map and this map is the visibility. So there is, if anyone's played it, you'll know that there is a lot of snow and stuff blowing around. And it does mean that switching to most tend to switch to heat vision pretty quickly. Anything beyond kind of 400 or 500 meters can be hard to see. So it'll be interesting to see whether that affects the strats that we see today, whether teams opt for long range. When we saw this map in the first, I think it was round 4 or round 5, there was quite a bit of brawl. I mean, there was a bit of mid-range trade to begin with, but a lot of these matches ended up with the brawl around the dropship there in Charlie 3. Belmont, in your game with Dropship 4, how did you guys find this map?
I wasn't there for that one.
Did your team talk about it? I mean, strat wise, or what were they planning to do?
I know we were planning to bring the Cyclops in and push basically the second they touch Theta. Ooh, EMP has banned Terra Therma.
Ooh. Both obviously EMP good at everything, but I know that 228 have played. They've played quite a few games on Alpine. They are a pretty good trading team. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether they try and get, say, Alpine or River, which allows those trades, or even Rubelite. But how do you take on EMP? To try and outtrade EMP, it's a tough task either way. So I'm thinking that they're probably going to go for a map where they've got maybe an unusual strat to try and surprise EMP.
Well, they have left us with Rubelite Oasis, with EMP
Ooh,
canceling Terra Therma and Bog, and 228 canceling Peaks and River City, so I'm for a decently hot
nice.
map.
I think the good thing about Rubelite is that you can play a variety of strats. So you really can play the cap game if that's the case. You can trade, or with the low ground, there are some opportunities really to move tonnage up, or to surprise other teams. I mean, Rubelite's one where you can send out some anti-lights. We did have that game in Dropship 4 against DSAG that you might remember, Belmont, where the Street Crow really did some work on that map and really decided those drops. So
Yeah.
yeah, might see something unusual with 228. I mean, let's be honest, they're probably going to need something big. They're going to need a strat that really wins it for them because, yeah, player skill to player skill, we would think EMP have got it. They've got it pretty much over any other team. So 228 are going to have to win this with good strats and good teamwork.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're taking anything from 228 Blackwatch, they'll be getting some interesting strats.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's an advantage that 228 do have. You know, they've got that hive mind that they can tap into. They've got Blackwatch who've played EMP. A lot of good strategists in 228, and then they can practice them against each other. So, you know, you're probably not going to scrim against a better team to mimic the type of competition that they're going to face in this game to be able to scrim against Blackwatch. So yeah, they're as well prepared, I think, as you can.
Yeah, when you're lucky enough to have a team like Blackwatch to scrim against, like as compared to playing other teams Div B worthy, you're like, you know what, we need
Yeah.
to beat Blackwatch to be able to win this division, and then go against the Div A teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've had it before in the Swamp Foxes, so
Yeah,
lots
and
of
228 have got
possibility.
better. They've got better as the division's gone along. They had a pretty shocking first loss to Potato Killers in round one, and then they went down to Smoke Eaters, I think, in round four, maybe, or round three, and that's been their only two losses. But you know, they had a very big win last week against White Knight Legion. They have beat some good teams, so yeah, they have got better as the tournament's gone along. So if you're going to have your crossover match, maybe having it at the end is better than having it at the start. I mean, we played Black Omen for our very first match in Div B, and that was a bit of a wake-up call to go up against Div A quality for the very first game of the tournament. So yeah, probably an advantage there for 228. And yeah, they will need every advantage that they can get to be able to get some drops off these guys.
Yeah, warming up your strats to finish with a Div A team, whereas you guys, yeah, didn't have it the fun way.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's probably never fun going up against these teams that are just so good. But yeah, you know, it is all set up really. It's set up for as good an opportunity for death from above as possible. And if they're gonna win by going through EMP, then no one can argue that they don't deserve it.
Yeah, you got that right. You want to fix the view mode? I think that's what they're asking for.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, you can ignore enhancements too. I mean, teach them a lesson.
View mode third person.
They're first person only.
First person.
Third person only.
We're not playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
And so for ignore enhancements, do I put that on yes?
No, leave it on no.
Awesome.
It would be funny though.
All right, EMP look like they are close to being locked. So obviously just a reminder that this drop is Conquest, so the map is pretty small. I don't think that the caps will be too important in regards to this one. And then as we go into drops 2 and 3, we go to Domination. Again on Forest Colony, I think that will be a move to the middle and Brawl, although we might see some Overwatch. And then we're back to Conquest on Rubelite for drops 4 and 5.
Yeah. Oh, it should be almost pretty standard for Forest Colony, I would think, but it'd be interesting if they did old Forest Colony domination. Because where the hell you would put that thing?
Yeah.
Since that map is so freaking tiny.
Yeah,
just put it in the tunnel. Screw it.
Yeah, but then you could sit on top of it, so that would be interesting as well.
That's true. HPG style.
Is this the last match for both of these teams, and EMP are sitting pretty comfortably, having already secured their division. So it'd be interesting to see how they go today, about whether they bring their best game, for lack of a better word. Right, looks like we're green across the board.
Because I believe
So
we still have White Knight Legion versus Potato Killers tomorrow, or did they move the time because of the Easter?
I think it's either tomorrow or the day after. It has been scheduled for some time this weekend. So yeah, it's I do know that the Clan Crossfire and Smoke Eaters match is for the following week. So we are affected by Easter. All right, green across the board. Let's go.
Fantastic. Let's dance. Oh no, it's Smoke Adders versus CXF. Clan Crossfire is rescheduled to week 8.
Yeah, we've been affected by Easter with just a few pilots away, and I think Smoke Eaters are the same. So it's good that we've got these two matches at least, and then it'll really set up that match against Crossfire and Smoke Eaters.
It's going to be a tough one for you guys as well, but should be
Yeah,
interesting.
Smoke Eaters have flown under the radar. I think they have been outstanding this entire tournament, but man, they have just gone under the radar. So yeah, I mean they deserve, if they do win, then it is certainly well deserved. They have been very, very good.
Or they've been sandbagging. All right, well, since I'm staring at the 228 side, let me tell you what they brought. You got Lawrence Elson, Sinestral, and Madcat 2Bs. Foxy in the linebacker. The other last Mark 2B by Giggity. Stranger Come Knocking and Annihilator. Seabiscuit in linebacker. Wolfhound 2 by Draven Cult. And Invictus bringing the Schleppnir. What do you got Imperial side?
No, MOR8v8 have gone, looks like a mix of Dakar. We've got Mighty Rant in the Mad Cat B. We've got Bowser in the Annihilator 1X, Vexus in the Nova Prime, Reckless in another Annihilator, this one the 1A, Magician in the Summoner D, Chimera in the Direwolf Prime, Salith in his Piranha, and Jaskal Miash in the Blood Asp. So yeah, this is going to be a trade, mid-range trade by the looks of it. You can see Chimera is actually set up at the back with his Direwolf, so that must be 2s, I would say. Wondering how much he can see from that position at the back there.
I can't remember. Somebody else did that too. They held way back there with 2 Direwolves.
Yeah, it was Jay-Z, I think, in whether it was Eon or Black Omen, but it didn't work out too well for him, to be fair.
Yeah.
Both teams with 1 cap. Looks like they are just setting up around the dropship and trading.
Invictus D is getting hit by a strike there and down to 96%, so it's a first start to what's going to be coming soon. Vexus a little bit out of spot, getting hit by Lawrence Elson, Sinestral, but...
Bit of fighting in the tunnel here. So 228's tried to send some linebackers through, but Magician has spotted them. They're stuck in the tunnel. Well, here comes the push by the looks of it.
A bit of a slow push with Stranger going down. Giggity Goo and not in a good position, 56%, way in the open.
Salith is doing some fantastic work just holding up the Mad Cats on this side.
Yeah, just really ruining their push there.
Yeah, those linebackers need to get involved. They're just too far out of it at the moment.
Yeah, Invictus going down by Ash, your buddy. I can't say that, he's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be enjoying getting some time on the field, I think. But yeah, this one looks like it is going to snowball very quickly. Here come those linebackers. I think they're going to be just too late to the party.
Yeah, just
Just
too late
Draven and
unless
his
they
Wolfhound.
do a good job on that Direwolf.
Yeah, and look, they've gone back to gank the Direwolf there, which should go down pretty quickly. Seabiscuit takes down Chimera.
Taking out the torsos. You know, it wasn't snowy on the other side.
It was a bit academic from here, I think. The Salith and the Piranha come and clean up Seabiscuit by the looks, and here comes Ash. So 228 did try something unusual. They tried the backdoor gank with the linebackers, but they got spotted and stalled. And 228 looked like they tried to push, but EMP just too good for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hard way to push with so many mechs being off the right foot too far back, and like you said, with the 2 being screwed up by Seleth and the Piranha. They got just right screwed.
Yeah, we see Lawrence there asking the Blood Asp's health. Just Call Mesh is on 71%. So if they are referring to him, then he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's just a orange torso. That's about it. Not too bad.
So yeah, they did try something unusual, but that needed to be executed to perfection, and unfortunately, EMP just spotted those linebackers and then just pushed on in.
Yeah, not high numbers on the 228 side, but Jesus, Chimera and that Direwolf with 1,033. Holy shite.
Wow. Gee, so obviously visibility not a problem for Chimera from the back there, so that's going to be interesting for the other teams. But yeah, 228, yeah, really did struggle there, and EMP showing just how good they are.
There we go, just trying to send you some stats. It's Seabiscuit with 35 team damage. Magician with 29 on his side as well. Very nice
So
low
those,
numbers at least.
Those errant strikes, eh?
Yeah. A lot of even component destruction on the EMP side. Like, you got 5 guys with 3, 2 with 4, and the Magician with none in the Summoner. Since he really didn't have time to do work with the long-range Summoner deck, so...
Yeah, I mean those summoners, if it was that PPC build, then you know, they do need some time really to show that they're effective. The pop targeting's good, I think, on a map like this, but for EMP they just didn't really need it, did they? They won the trades pretty easily, and remember, of course, they were outnumbered in those trades because 228 had committed to sending some tonnage through the tunnel, and once it was stuck in there, it was really out of the fight, and they did back up and try and go a circuitous route in the end, which just meant that it was effectively a 6 on 8. And yeah, you definitely need all 8 if you're fighting against EMP.
Yeah, bit of a weird way to push it, but like you said, right off the bat, you could see EMP was focusing 2 of the assault mechs that had peeked over, one being Giggity Goo. I know when he started to push, I believe Stranger Come Knocking, when he pushed over before anybody else, they immediately had all whatever firing lines on him.
Right.
See, he was kicking his own team out. He's had enough.
All right, let me get this lobby sorted system whilst we set up for that next drop.
Yeah, so far it's looking like the way they... Yeah, Seabiscuit at least got the guy who got 1,000 damage, so... But drop 1 looking the way like all the others have gone that I've watched. A lot of low kill numbers on the Div A team side, so we'll see what 228 does in the next one here against the Div A team.
Yeah, it's
because I know Blackwatch had a weird strat that one time where they tried to pull distance with... I can't even remember who they were playing now. Damn it.
Was it Black Omen 228?
Yes, that's who it was.
Yeah.
And they played way on the outside of the domination circle.
Yeah, and Black Omen really did run over them. A very good timed, a well-timed push, and it really kind of sunk that range. But obviously Chimera didn't have any problem with the visibility because yeah, he poured out 1,000 damage in pretty good time.
He might have just been shooting everywhere.
Yeah. well, of course, I mean, you're talking about one of the top pilots in the game, so you know, you're probably expecting that kind of performance. Chimera has been pretty devastating this tournament. Yeah, certainly one of the top performing pilots.
I wonder if he was just using the reticle, like the red reticles, off the locks from other people and really just shooting. It's like I said, if there's that much, even with advanced zoom, I know it is still very choppy with that snow.
And wouldn't be surprised if it's something that they had practiced, you know, to see whether that was possible. And obviously Chimera good enough to just launch the damage and not worry too much about focusing components, just getting it down there. Was it twos, AC2s, or was it LBX2s? Do you know?
I did not look. I did look
If
at
it was
the end.
LBX.
I think it was UAC 2s.
UX, yeah. So more pinpoint, at least. I mean, if it was the LBXs, then it could have just been hoping for the crits. But yeah, pretty pretty devastating. And I guess we probably shouldn't expect anything less.
Crass not happy, saying they stole his strats.
Don't know if Krez is ever happy, so it's I think that's Grumpy's default position. But yeah.
For how much he has to argue with Saruman, he's not going to be happy.
Alright, so we look like we are almost ready, at least on the EMP side. They are Team 1 again. We go now to Forest Colony and Domination.
Yeah, nice low 375 tonnage.
Yeah, what do you think we'll see here? I mean, is there something unusual that that 228 can do in this drop?
It's hard to say, right? Because it's like, as 228, do you expect or do you assume that they'll be expecting a brawl, or do you assume that you'll be expecting a special type of strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go into these drops expecting fast brawl. I mean, if EMP have scouted 228 at all, they'll see that they do favour the fast laser brawl. Forest Colony's not cool, but it's not exactly hot. So, you know, given that 228 have been pretty successful in, you know, medium pulse linebackers and Stormcrows, they've brought the crabs. You know, that would be what I would expect. But I guess there's opportunity for a bit of overview to play an Overwatch mech and yeah, try and get some picks in the same way that White Knight Legend had tried against 228 last week.
Yeah, Chimera saying that he could see the movement in thermal even at the distance he was at.
Wow. Wow.
He's got good eyes that I do not have.
Again, those top players, you know, those are the 1%ers that separates Chimera from the likes of you and me system.
That's correct, yeah. When you live 120 FPS.
Right, we are green across the board. Let's get into this next drop, and I'll just double check before I do hit the button. We are Domination, we are Forest Colony. And, we don't have anyone in third person. All right, let's go. Yeah, will we see brawl? I mean, again, tough to just take it on the nose and hope to beat EMP at a brawl. But you know, 228 have been very good in the brawl, and yeah, they might back themselves in this one. Yeah, and maybe EMS did set the template, set the blueprint for how you can push EMP. At least they were very, very good in those cool stick drops. So yeah, I mean, 228 might have gone back and scouted that, and they might be trying something similar. But yeah, I guess typically strats start with the map, and given this is Domination, you know, that may mean that they do try something different.
Looks so nice from up here.
Yeah, it's a big map, pretty map, but we're only gonna probably see a little of it.
Yeah, no one's gonna go way around. No flanking in this one.
Well, it's an interesting map for Domination just because there are those levels there, so yeah, we'll see how much those get used.
That is right. Well, what are you staring at right now? Tell me what you got.
Let's... Alright, I am on EMP's side again, and we look like we've got a Assassin hit squad. There's a couple of Assassin 23s, Imminent and Just Call Me Ash. Vexus in the Crab 27B, as is Reckless, Magician in a Nova, Bowser in a linebacker, and Chimera in an assassin 23. So yeah, an assassin hit squad, and then Salith in a fire starter. So that's a little bit of an unusual selection.
Yeah, the grasshopper-sized mech.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, 228 side, bringing the javelins, some crabs, some storm crows, and some more crabs. All the crabs.
Kind of does that. Are they moving out to the water and sending someone up top there as well for 228? EMP just gathered around this buttress of rock here. It looks like they're just waiting for an opportunity to push, I think. Salith has definitely scouted that push out into the water.
Yeah, Seabiscuit up top. I don't... Yeah, he's got a UAV popped up.
Yeah, he's gonna be in trouble here. Yeah, Seabiscuit's getting pushed. This is Draven Colt. So they might just hold off those... they've turned now. They're going to engage the tonnage in the water. So those javelins need to get in there pronto. Brawl's on. Oh, there's a strike. There's a few mini battles happening here. Salith is kiting them away pretty well. There goes Giggity down and the Stormcrow.
Yeah, Pickledak's way out of position here.
Yeah, Bowser's just having his way up there on the spire, uncontested. It's a good focus fire here. Yeah, this one's going pretty quickly in favour of EMP. Pickledax is a bit far out. He's not really getting involved. He's in a 1v1 versus Salith.
Yeah, they're trying to take Vexus out hard at 44%, but they are just not having a good time. Stranger's doing his best.
They need to finish off Vexus there. Yeah, there he goes. Couple down. So Pickle won that 1v1. Still 3 versus 6 here.
Pickledak's not going to have a good time right away here.
Yeah, he's going to go down pretty quickly, and it's going to be on the javelins. But Seabiscuit, I think, is legged. Bowser will finish him off, I think.
Did Bowser miss that shot? Seabiscuit taking Bowser's leg.
Oh, very nice. Got there in the end, though. Just Draven left now. Alright, and another win for EMP.
Yeah, not doing a bad job, but just getting stuck inside basically what it looked like to me inside the circle of EMP, where they could kind of sit on the outside and focus fire on the T28 mechs.
Yeah, it was almost, they took the risk of splitting up their tonnage there. I mean, it was only 2 javelins, but, you know, they were too far away, really, to respond if EMP went one way or the other. I mean, they almost got pushed, and, you know, they went running. So EMP just turned and pushed on the main body of 228 who were out in the water there. Hard to say what is the more favourable side for Forest Colony. I think it's much of a muchness, really, isn't it?
It kind of is an oddball map, that's for sure. It's, like I said, I don't think there's a real definitive side that has better strengths to it, but it's also how you run it.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I think we saw 228 maybe a slightly unusual strat, you know, trying to use the water and use a bit of a flanking motion, but it just, you know, EMP scouted it pretty early and really then just had the option of which way they wanted to push. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the record for one drop is over 300, so yeah, anything under 50 I think is is acceptable. It could be just a stray alpha from Reckless or even shooting through someone. So yeah, pretty dominant there. You can see those percentages for EMP. The mechs that weren't killed are still well in the green, apart from Bowser there who got legged. But I think 228, again, the focus fire was simply better for EMP, and they were able to bring more mechs firing at the enemy than 228 were by splitting up their javelins.
Well, and I've been hassled before about bringing Stormcrows to the fight, because I can't remember who it was. It was either Zyos or Astinius, old D5 players, who basically told me it was just too big of a mech, where it's too easy to hit.
Yeah,
and that's why I always kind of I could play it well, but when you play a good team, they know how to take you down.
Yeah, and I mean it's that age-old question I think that a lot of team captains or strategists have is to, do you continue with a mech that you've had success in, either because the pilot's comfortable with it or because the strat has worked previously? And the other thing to consider here is that EMP have brought probably what is one of the strongest decks for this drop. If you've got the assassin hit squad there with a couple of linebackers, I mean that's just proving an almost unbeatable deck, and of course EMP are a very good team as well. So when you're bringing the Stormcrows against those assassins and linebackers, I mean you're making it even harder.
Yeah, it's almost an unstoppable deck if you've got a good team behind it. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and with the tonnage limits here, fast brawl obviously seems to be the most popular strat, and there doesn't seem to be any other mechs that are as good as carrying it out. And whether it's obviously the assassins are primarily SRMs, but with the linebackers you can either go laser or you can go missile. So they give you that flexibility. All right, 228 are locked and ready to go. So obviously they got a strategy pre-planned. Just waiting on EMP now.
Just waiting on that swap sides button.
Yeah. So yeah, coming in from the other side there, but I mean, as we mentioned, I don't think there is a huge amount of difference for either team. I don't think EMP will bother to go into the water there. I think they'll probably just gather up, wait for an opportunity to push and then push.
Yeah, no, probably gonna be not a mirror of what just happened. Like I said, they'll stay a lot tighter to the pillar.
Yeah. Well,
Pillar?
if 228 were going to use the strat out in the water, I think that would have been better to pull some range. They were kind of in no man's land really, halfway between a push and not a push, or maybe they should have committed fully to getting up on that abutment there and using some jump hits and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're green across the board. Let's just check with the teams. Right, here we go. So 2 drops to 1 here. 228 very much need to get some drops under their belt. They want to get some points on Smoke Adders. At the moment, they're 4 points up with those 2 losses. So they'll be wanting to take the rest of these drops.
So I've also found out why I'm muted.
Awesome.
Every time I change my scene, if I don't then click on the screen, like the OBS feature or back to MechWarrior, I stay muted. Which is why you might not hear me sometimes. Like Andrew's flapping his mouth away, but he's not saying anything.
At least you know now. And it's in one of the last games of the tournament, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this one out all night so I can not do it.
Now, it's looking a bit darker than last time. Pretty sure I had it set today.
It's a freaking active volcano over here.
Alright, so just starting with EMP again, we have got a bit of an unusual, looks like a laser fast brawl. We've got Vectis in the Crab 27B, Yowza in a Black Lana, Imminent in the Nova again, Salith in his Piranha, Chimera in the Linebacker Prime, Magoat bringing the K9, Irby, Reckless in the Vulcan 5T, and Just Call Me Ash in his very, very favourite Kintara.
And not a bad vector to bring at all for this one. But 228 bringing a Commando, Linebacker, Vulcan, 2 Black Lanners, finishing off all Black Lanners and all Vulcans, sorry. Tripling up their mechs.
apologies, the time of day seems to have changed without being clicked, so hopefully the teams are alright with playing night.
Being mid-ish day.
So 228, they're gathering up around the abutment. Looks like they're pushing around to the right there. So those black Lenners are probably stacked up with machine guns, I would think. So they'll be hoping for some crits.
Oh.
EMP just look like they're setting up to receive.
Yeah, Bowser and South in behind here.
Yeah, this could be trouble. Seabiscuit will need to scout that and get his team.
His line, yeah, Giggity does not look like he's helping him.
Yeah. They're doing the right thing though, they're rotating to maintain their line, but here we go, the brawl's on.
Yeah, focusing on Ash, taking him out quickly in that Kentaro 18.
Nice. It's a good kill.
Very good
They need
work.
to keep it going. If they can turn on Bowser and Salith here, unfortunately they've got some one-on-ones. Some separate fights here. Here goes Vexus. Giggity goes down.
Yeah,
It's
Vicky's
2 to
having
1.
a tough time on those two. Coming back to the brawl.
He goes off, strike off in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Who dropped there?
Magoke getting hit by the strike there. Pickled Axe going down.
This is close. 3 to 5, 2 to 8. Seabiscuit takes down Bowser. He'll be skying about that one. Good work.
Gotta take it as you can get it.
Doing some work in his commando there. We all know that they are impossible to hit, so he might be able to carry. And the strike down in the middle of it. Lawrence looks like he's been legged. And he goes down. And just Seabiscuit left. So another one to EMP, but 2 to 8 did much better in this one.
Yeah, very well. Beautiful focus fire when they rolled in, going in on Ash, and then minus the guys being stuck in the back, trying to take down Vexus quickly off the bat too. Definitely worked out for them.
Alright, so it's 8 to 4, but a much better showing there from 2 to 8. And yeah, I wonder if that was EMP kind of almost with a split push there, really, with Bowser and South coming in from behind.
Well, run me through these damage numbers.
Well, it's you know, not. It is a pretty good spread from 2 to 8 there, but the damage numbers weren't particularly high. I mean, they never get that high in an 8v8 with this kind of tonnage, but yeah, you can see that Giggity Goo was the first one focused. He only did 30 damage, but everyone else was pretty much the same, and their damage numbers are probably relative to when it is they got focused during that match. And of course, we can see on the EMP side some strong performances there by Reckless in the Vulcan, Chimera, of course, in the linebacker. Ash really the only one whose damage isn't looking too flash hot, and likewise he was just focused pretty early in that one.
Yeah, he won't be too happy about that one.
He'll be enjoying the time out there, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of these things you have in the brawl. Really often, you know, the first person to get focused will not look like they're performing too well, and that can just be the luck of it. I mean, EMP were kind of set up to receive that push, and you know, Ash just happened to be, I think, at the foremost of that receiving concave, and it was just good focus fire there from.
Yeah, so a lot more team damage on the 2 to 8 side this time, with Seabiscuit and that Commando getting 57, 26 from Foxy, 18 from Sinistral. Reckless still hovering around the 50 mark in the total drinks. Everybody else trying to keep it light, which is good to see. So not too many errant strikes on that one.
Yeah, there was a few going off, but obviously they'd been able to dodge those. That's one of the biggest threats, I think, about playing these drops is getting yourself killed by a strike. But a pretty dominant display there by EMP again, and 2 to 8 probably didn't try anything too out of the box. It was a concerted push, and you know, they had the black laners there, I guess, hoping to, you know, get some crits and take advantage of the machine guns. But yeah, EMP just able to receive that strong push that 2 to 8 made, and get the win.
Like you said, when you're going against a top team, it ain't gonna be easy if they want it.
Yeah, exactly right. And we do need to put it in perspective. For everyone watching, 228 Death from Above are a good team. They're well organised. They deserve their place competing for the win in this division and at the top of it. But EMP have shown time and time again just how good they are as a team. And these crossover matches are a challenge for any of the Div B teams. 228. Just the difference between the two divisions is probably what we're seeing here. A good Div B team and an excellent Div A team. And, EMP can afford to make mistakes maybe that another Div B team couldn't.
Yeah, very true. It's also how you, like you said, with Bowser and can't remember who else was with him, like getting that
Selleth?
quick, Selleth did that quick
Yeah.
quick return shots in the back right off the bat. It doesn't help when you're going against a good team. You always question how it's going to end up while you're running it, right? Because you can't be like, oh, ignore it, keep the push going. It's like, no, I have to deal with this. This is an issue.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
I think it's one of the hardest things with comp, and I mean I know I struggle with it, and as you get better at the game, you're probably able to manage it less and less. But this idea of when you get shot, you want to respond, and it's sometimes against, it seems unintuitive, where your drop caller's telling you, hey, we're focusing this, we're focusing that, and then you've got some other player that's about to crit out or take your torso, or in these drops take your leg, and the top teams obviously are just able to pick their moments about when they focus fire and do exactly what the drop caller said, or make whatever movements or counters to taking fire from somewhere else. And when you're getting it in the back, I like that. But it's a risky strat, because if you have a split push, if 228 had suddenly turned around earlier and focused Bowser and Selleth, whilst EMP were setting up the rest of their tonnage to receive, that could have been an opportunity. If they'd all turned on mass and were able to take down Bowser and Selleth really quickly before EMP could close, it could have been different. But again, when you're talking about players and teams of the skill level of EMP, it does make it really, really tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, just to highlight that, I've got a few stats here as we kind of wait for the teams to go. So, Death from Above are the second highest ranked team in Div B after 6 rounds, and they'd had an average match score of 227 per pilot per match and 331 damage per pilot per match. They also had the second highest kill count, so they had 158 kills. It's mechs they had actively killed, as opposed to mechs that on the opposition they had destroyed themselves. So that's a kill rate of 66%. So of all the mechs being fielded against them, they're killing 66% of them. So that is a little bit above tournament average. But you compare that to EMP. Remember, EMP are competing in the higher division, and their average match score was 244 per pilot per match. 352 damage per pilot per match. But where they're really different is in their kill rate. So their kill rate is 82%, and they, across the tournament thus far, have got 40 more kills than Death from Above. So you can see the difference between those two teams just there, and the gap between NA, Div A, or even any Div A and Div B is highlighted in those, that even though the damage and match score can be not too far away, you look at how effective EMP are with that damage. They're on average, they're killing 2 or 3 more mechs a drop than DFA would be across the course of the tournament.
Yeah.
So on to Rubelite system, and we have seen this played quite a bit. It is pretty popular, and as mentioned, I guess at the outset, it's a map at least where there's the option to try different strats. Do you think that 228 might come with something out of the box, LRMs or ATMs or something like that?
I would like to say you might see some ATMs on this map. I mean, they haven't. It's been a while since I've seen a Rubelite Oasis drop, but
yeah. there's some verticality to the map. I think that means that ATMs can be really effective, and we have seen Bowser in the Supernova A just hang around Theta in that valley by Theta and use the verticality of the map to his advantage to just unleash those devastating volleys with those 4 ATM 12s. So whether EMP will bring something like that, and whether 228 will look to mimic the mixed missile strat that Blackwatch made successful against Black Omen. That might be something that they try and pull off against EMP.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a tough one. Everyone's getting used to bringing AMS to the game right now because of the LRMs and ATMs getting not even just used, but just being so abundant right now.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that AMS have the benefit of being effective not only against LRMs and ATMs, but maybe give you a slight DPS advantage against SRMs and MRMs. Right, we're green across the board. Let me just get through quickly. We've got Conquest, we've got Rubelite. Make sure I don't make another noob mistake on the lobby. And let's go. Oh no, we've got...
Speaking of LRMs, you can check out the Incoming Missile podcast where you discuss them.
Oh, nice plug. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the podcast is named to evoke that very controversial topic. So, all right, we are green this time. Let's launch. Before I start talking more about the podcast, let's get into what we're here for. So yeah, again, this is every drop is meaningful for Death from Above, just because they've lost this match overall. Even if they win these next 2 drops, that could be enough to get them the division. Obviously, every drop they win, then Smoke Adders would just need to win the same amount in their match against Clan Crossfire. So yeah, every drop matters. That's the best thing about this round, and probably one of the best things about the tournament is just how meaningful it has been as we get to these later rounds.
Oh, Div B has been close. It's been so awesome to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the same for Div C. I mean, coming down to that very last drop was fantastic. It came down to the last round in EU Div B as well, and Majestic getting that win. So yeah, just the tournament as a whole has just brought us some really exciting action.
Yeah. It has been fantastic.
Oh, is that a... Oh no, I thought we might have had a DC there.
Yeah, waiting for the hold.
So I am on 228's side, and they are bringing 2 Blood Asps. Probably Daka, I would think. They have got 2 Huntsman Ps, and I would... they've got 3 Blood Asps and 3 Huntsman Ps. And then complemented by Commando and a Javelin. So I do believe we might be seeing some ATMs.
Yeah, I'm watching Giggity with the tag laser there.
So maybe the Blood Asps to hold and trade, and the Huntsmans to get close and pop tart.
So on the EMP side, we got Selith in the Piranha 1, Magoat in the Wolfhound 2, the Wolfhound Hero for Vexus, Chimera in the Madcat 2B with Reckless joining him in the Mechless B, Madcat 2B, Rick Rom and Hellbringer, Mighty Rant in the Hunchback 2C, and Bowser in the Supernova A. It's a nice, very nice
early skirmish here on the Theta. Selith and Seabiscuit, Commando versus the Piranha. And Selith might have scared him off, I think. Yep, EMP got that.
Oh, and he won that trade too, so...
Yeah, here comes the 2 Wolfhounds for EMP as well. So they've got a pretty good wolf pack there, pardon the pun, with the 3 of those there. So that's it's an early win for EMP there to get Theta.
Yeah, and it sucks, like, when you probably could have had the better of that if Dravencult been right there with him. They might have been able to do some hard work on Selith, but you always question pushing a Div A player when you know he's in the groove.
Absolutely. So they looks like they're pushing under the platform there on their side. So interesting to see where they're going to try and trade from. I mean, EMP have set up as you normally would from that side in those high bridges and spires. Bowser's in the Supernova A, so I'm sure that has got ATMs.
Ooh, Seabiscuit just getting lit up by Rick Rom. Down to 67%.
Oh, and here comes Salith Poo to try and gank. This is almost a 2v1 against Salith and Draven. I mean, if they could take the Piranha out here, that would be huge, but I mean, Salith's such a good light pilot. Oh, we got a good shot there. Well, here comes Vectress in the Grinner to make it a 2v2.
Yeah, and he's almost legged.
Oh, they might have Draven here. Seabiscuit's kind of left Draven out to dry. Is he going to get away? Oh, well done. Oh, no, Bowser. The ATMs.
Yeah, getting him where it hurts.
And Seabiscuit, oh, it looked like he was trying to hassle Chimera.
Yeah, Giggity getting
Chimera drops.
hit up by Magoat and the long-range laser vomit of Rick Rom.
Seabiscuit as well. That's both the lights for 228 here. And given that they are already down on caps, that might mean that this drop has been decided just in those 2 kills. I think they're going to be forced to push here. Their only hope, I think, is to win an engagement.
Well, they're in a bad spot in this little cubby hole here.
Absolutely. They need to push out of there quick or push off. And look, there's a strike just dropped at their feet. They're getting in each other's way there. This is fish in a barrel for EMP. Here comes Salith behind in the Piranha.
Yeah, he'll be able to clean up a decent amount of mechs here. They need to push hard on Chimera and Bowser.
A whole lot of separate engagements going on here, but I think
I'm trying to get it all.
Yeah, I think that 2 to 8 are up against it here. I think they just one final Hail Mary.
Yeah, they got a lot of good mechs in good shape still, so Lawrence just going down.
Just the blood ass left Stranger come knocking.
The enemy has
That's it.
resources. We've failed.
Yeah, it was a tough way to push for them.
Yeah, and you know, it's a shame that they almost forced themselves into that position. I'm not exactly sure what trading positions they were hoping to take up by starting off low, and then I mean to try and take a position when the opposition are already set up to trade is really tough. You know, they would have paid the price to take any ground, but they were low right from the get-go. I think though this one came down to the lights. Salith won that early battle on Fader, and then Seabiscuit and Draven Colt. They hung around a little bit. They'd kind of abandoned the cap game. So I'm not exactly sure what those lights were trying to achieve, but it didn't work out too well for them.
But not bad numbers on their side, with Invictus getting 457. But just everybody else's numbers just not really keeping up. I mean, the Blood Asp all almost broke 300, which ain't bad. But
Yeah,
it just almost feels like none of the other mechs really worked very well. Just never had a chance to put in the right types of damage.
Exactly right. It almost came down to just a brawl at the end there, and I don't think EMP were too considered about the damage that they were taking. I think they saw pretty early that that game was won, so they were just kind of pushing in to get it done.
Yeah, well, look at Rick Rom and Bowser with 8 components destroyed between the two of them. Lawrence also getting 4 and Stranger with 2, so... Oh, Mighty Rant with 5 as well, sorry, he's Hunchback 2C.
Yeah, Bowser in that Supernova is pretty deadly, particularly for those lights that were just running around. I mean, you can get caught by that volley, even out at kind of 500 or 600 meters, and that 48 damage times 2 is can be enough to see a leg blow up. Right, so the 5th and final drop, we're running Rubelite back again, and I think 228 will want to try and be a little bit more strategic about what they do this time around.
Yeah, it's tough when you, like I said, like the focus fire of a Div A team is definitely critical to where you put your mechs. You need to be... Everyone needs to be able to get shot, so they don't just have one target, because they will focus the target and destroy it.
Yeah. And I'm not sure that the best strat is to stay low on Rubelite, particularly initially. As I said, I think they gave up the trading positions, better trading positions, uncontested to EMP, and that meant for the bulk of 228's tonnage, they either needed to find good trading positions or just stay out of sight, and then rely on their fast movers to keep them in the game cap wise. But given that they had both bad trading positions and were low, so they were getting fired on, and of course that their lights got lost the battle there, they were hard up against it.
Yeah, no, you're completely right there. But while we wait, let's do a giveaway. For all the random amounts of MC.
Fantastic, love it. And by random, you probably mean somewhere between 500 and 1,000, is that right?
Something like that, yeah. Just removing all the bots, you, me, and letting this ride.
Alright, good luck everyone. Hashtag rigged.
Hashtag Jimmy Rig. And Will Fannin. Whisper me, System Belmont, in the chat room of Twitch. Get you some MC, my friend. Will Fannin.
Shout out to Will as well. He's a bit closer to the Oceanic region than probably most of the people in chat. So
Lucky guy.
All right, teams are setting up at the moment, still waiting for EMP and Team 1 to get their green lights going. Don't think we'll see too much change from EMP from this side. I think, unlike 228, I think EMP will probably take up trading positions or look to get Theta and hold the caps. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what 228 do, whether they try that sneaky push down low.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do a cap strat will run on this one. It's not a bad map where you can do it as long as you can keep, like I said, keep EMP away from bringing the rush to them and then controlling the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I think it's their best chance when you're going up against a team where the pilot skill is, such good pilots on the other side. A cap strat is something that they can pull off, that they can win, and the map lends itself. You don't easily have sightlines on a lot of the caps. So yeah, if they could play a cap strat, I think that does give them the best chance of getting a win over EMP. I mean, as mentioned, even taking one drop away from EMP will be critical. I mean, if they win this one, they then just need to pray that Clear and Crossfire 5-0s smoke getters, and that White Knight Legion and Potato Killers kind of cancel each other out with a 3-2. So yeah, they need this drop. Otherwise, they won't be able to win the division. I mean, they'll take at least 10 points away and put them on 124 points. And even if Clean Crossfire 5-0'd Smoke Adders, and they only got 10 points, Smoke Adders own the tiebreaker. So they've got to win this. Drop.
Yeah. Well, and after watching that Eon versus JGX, was it drop 4 or 5, where it got to 749.
Yeah.
And Lizzie broke stopped the drain for a little, only 20 seconds, but that was something.
Yeah, there has been fantastic games right across this tournament. So yeah, just a quick shout out, of course, to everyone that has contributed to making this tournament so fantastic. Obviously, the players, the team captains, shoutcasters like yourself, system and the comp admins. Everyone that's making it work behind the scenes, and yeah, of course, to the spectators and the people tuning in. It's been a fantastic tournament to be a part of.
Yeah, I got to remind everybody that the Aces Wild Inner Sphere Thingamajig tournament, Inner Sphere Coalition tournament is starting soon. So if you got a team, you only need 6 guys. So you should sign up.
Absolutely. I think sign-ups close early in May. This one is 6v6 and it is Innisphere only mix.
Yes.
Hence the name. So yeah, slightly different. And yeah, they're working on a slightly different system, a Swiss system where all the teams will start in the same pool, and as teams play each other, basically you'll get ranked from there to decide who else it is you play. So yeah, obviously we want to support comp, and we want to keep the game healthy. So by participating in comp, you really help support the game. And yeah, going from Martial Olympiad Reborn over to the Innisphere Coalition, a slightly different format, but yeah, hopefully we'll see some top teams and hopefully we'll see lots of entrants and yeah, some more good action.
Yeah, because you need 6 players. You can have a maximum up to 24, which is nice. So you can have a lot of pilots. Signups do close on May 1st, so
Yeah,
a little bit of time left for everybody still to find some friends, join a tournament, have some fun.
absolutely. I mean, I've said it before, comp is such a different experience. It gives you a different appreciation for MWO. There are a lot of game modes, of course, with the game itself, but comp is like another game mode, and that's yeah, the focus on teamwork it's a big part of the game. It's probably a big reason why a lot of people both love and hate the game. Is that teamwork is needed, and yeah, comp just takes it to that next level. So and as we've seen, there was right down to Div D in the Martial Olympiad Reborn. So there's a place for everyone, I think. And with the 6v6, there's just a little bit more room as well. So it's going to be a really, really interesting competition. Six mechs against 6 Innisphere mechs against 6 other Innisphere mechs.
Well, and it's good to see because a lot of the comp teams are nice and friendly. A lot of them will find time or look for scrims with other teams and everything. And a lot of teams have been around for a long time. So we're excited to see new teams or regrouped teams come in and play again just to have teams still around, still playing.
Absolutely.
228 getting 9 players on deck here.
Yeah, I was just about
idea.
to say, I think they're trying to sneak another player in there. MP is so good, I'm not sure it would make the difference, but yeah.
Any advantage that they don't notice.
It's like we are very, very close to being ready to go. I think nuclear weapon has come in to drop. Good.
Yeah, Rick Rom giving him the die.
Die and rage quit. But yeah, get involved. As I said, it's and as you were saying, system. The camaraderie is fantastic. You do compete, you do want to win, but it is puts you right in the heart of the MechWarrior community. Comp I think is a special and great subset of what is already a great community. Yeah, get involved. Get your unit involved and yeah, support all of these tournaments. Still waiting on these teams to ready up. It does look like 228 are very, very close.
Yeah, I thought they were a lot closer.
I wonder if they're all on their mechs because they are 10 tons under. So they might be playing a quicker. Might be playing a cap straight here. They're gone.
Yeah, we've lost nuclear.
Okay. He's had to restart the client. Alright, so apologies guys, just a little bit of a delay here as a player's computer crashed it.
Classic 228 strategy. Make them wait. If they get bored, they won't play as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The tournament so far system, obviously, Dropship 4 were very, very good. You guys almost took the division. I mean, how did you guys find it in Div C? Competitive?
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that we've played before with Blackthorns and I can't remember the damn team right now.
DSEG?
DSEG, yeah. I know we've played them in the past in MRBC, so as well as Aces. I know we've played them before, some form or another. So it's good to see. Nice competitive bracket as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was probably 4 teams in that division that were all realistically a chance of winning, and obviously DSEG got it in the end, pretty fortunately. But yeah, Dropship 4, Blackthorn Dragoons, and Cameron's Hollanders Claymores were all, a chance.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird situation for us, but it was good to see. We had to bring in a few other people that wanted to play just to make sure we had the roster, and then we wanted to make sure everybody got time on in a mech, so it was just... I mean, it still worked out well. I had no problem with tying. I wanted to sweep. I should have played. I wanted to play. I wanted to sweep everybody. Didn't happen. Because that's the way she goes.
Yeah, and look, it's one of the challenges that teams face. I know for our unit and our team captain, Captain Cat, tries really hard to get everyone involved that wants to be involved. And yeah, whereas some units will just have their kind of top roster, and the top roster will play. Right, looks like we are locked. I will hit the launch button. I'll just make sure that everything is as it should be in the lobby. We'll go. Right, let's go. Last drop.
Yeah, everybody arguing right before the last drop starts.
So very interesting to see what strat 228 bring on this one. I mean, if they were going to pull it out of the bag for any drop, this is the one. They really want to get those points. Right, nuclear weapon has got his obligatory wish to good health at the start.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any
There we go. I got everybody here now. Wow, I'm staring at the Imperial side, so let me talk you through it. We got a Summoner, Flea, Huntsman, Annihilator, Supernova, Wolfhound, Mislinks, and a Blood Asp for this group of Rick Rom, Selith, Mighty Rant, Chimera, Bowser, Magician, Magoat, and just call me Australian.
Right, and on the 228 side, they have brought 3 Piranhas, so they've saved all their Piranhas for last. 2 Warhawk Primes, I'm guessing they might be PPC boats, an Annihilator 1P, a Nightjar, and the Hellbringer Virago. So this does look like a cap strat deck, maybe holding with the long range assaults and getting those Piranhas out there. And it does look like EMP will get Theta again. So
yeah, just letting them take it. You can see this poor Annihilator Stranger stuck way in the back. Gonna be a while.
And the 228 Piranhas are hunting in a school. They have taken Epsilon. I wonder if they are going to make a big flank around and try and gank some of those EMP heavies at the and assaults at the back, because they've just abandoned Theta. Okay, 228 have set up to trade here. That Warhawk does look to have PPCs. Foxy in the Nightjar system, is that large lasers and maybe Gauss? Right, here come those Piranhas. They are on a mission. Alright, so this drop could hinge on what these Piranhas do.
Yeah, 2 Gauss, 2 ER large, 2 ER laser, medium.
So just in the backfield here, system, we've got Draven, Seabiscuit, and Lawrence, Elsa, and Piranhas, and they look like they're going to turn right here and go up and engage. They're not looking to backcap. Oh, McGoat and his mislinks. I think he might have, has he spotted them?
I don't think he has.
Whew. He needs a UAV right about now. Here they come. There's only 2 of them though. They want to go in 3. Seabiscuit just a little bit ahead. Here we go. Oh, Magoat. Pretty good timing from Magoat to be there, actually.
Oh, that'll be a beautiful artillery strike if it is.
Yeah, Salathan is Flea. Oh, Ashes, this is going to be fish in a barrel here. He's dropping.
Well, yeah, they got EMP just running to chase. I mean, they got lots of time, too, so...
Yeah, I mean, they need to kite them away now. EMP are moving almost the bulk of their tonnage to engage these Piranhas. So now would be the time to push with the rest of the tonnage and take up the good positions.
Yeah, Lawrence also getting legged and going down. Just Draven Seabiscuit stuck way in the back here.
And what a play by McGoat and Selith to predict the path that the Piranhas were going to run on. And look at Mighty Rant here in the Huntsman. I wonder if he's got ATMs. Streaks by the looks of it.
Yep, 5 streak 6s. That is... Yeah, Seabiscuit better run.
So that was a bold move by 228 with the Piranha. Those are the kind of strats that I was hoping that they would look to pull out, but EMP is always just so good at getting the intel that's needed and reacting in the way that they need to.
Well, 228 not having the time to take advantage of that backfight there.
Yeah, now Salad has been legged by Seabiscuit before he died, but the Mislinks and the Wolfhound are still with both their legs, so they will certainly have the light advantage if it comes down to capping, which I'm not sure it will. How are the trades going over here, system?
I am staring behind Stranger and Nuclear. We're basically just searching for targets to shoot. I think they're just trying to shoot the EMP guys walking across the top there.
Yeah, Invictus is looking not so good there. He's on in the red. He's under 50% armor wise. He's getting traded on from multiple angles here, so I think he's going to have to abandon that position.
Yeah, I think Foxy got hit by a strike there. They just, I don't know if they're going to be able to get towards Ash there, who's at 50%.
Yeah, and here comes Bowser in that Supernova again, using that tactic we talked about using the verticality of this area around Theta to deliver probably a salvo.
Oh yeah, raid on Stranger can knock him down to 40%, so Bowser's going to be able to finish him.
Yep. Wow. Pushes on.
So just the 3 Foxy, Seneschal, and Nuclear up here.
Just a brilliant job of rotating out and sharing armor. You can see EMP's percentages there. There's every chance they could have lost a mech, but just such skilled players able to protect their vital parts and rotate out. Here comes Rick Wrong on the Summoner.
Oh, back shot on Nuclear.
Magician here should finish him off with the Wolfhound.
We've gathered enough resources.
And just not being able to finish those mechs there.
Yeah. So you know, well done to 228 to try something different with those Piranhas, but yeah, unfortunately EMP just good intel and were able to account for those Piranhas in the backfield.
Yeah, oh man. Those Piranhas just not being able to do the work that they needed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, if we look at the damage totals there, we can see really obviously the impact that the 3 Piranhas had there. Paul Lawrence just 4 damage, Draven Colt 71, and Seabiscuit 122. I mean, on EMP side, Chimera and the Annihilator almost hit 1,000 damage again, 950. Whew.
He's just always in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, obviously positioning is a huge part of being one of these top players, and Chimera knows where he should be and where other people are going to be as well, so gets his damage where it needs to go. So 5-0 to EMP there, and that was a pretty tough uphill battle for 228, and unfortunately they weren't able to take any drops off EMP. They will get 10 points from this match, 2 points for every drop that they lost. And yeah, they will finish up on 124 points. So unfortunately it means they can't win the division. Smoke Eaters, if they lost all of their drops against Crossfire, would end up on the same points, but they do have that they own the tiebreaker between the two. So yeah, 228 potentially could still finish second, just depending on the results of the other matches.
Well, I'm just looking at the damage board here. You can see a lot of these EMP mechs are hurt. 46% for Chimera, 42 for Ash, 47 Rickrum, 62 Magoat, 39% for Mighty Rant, and Salad at 55. Like, there was so much opportunity there. Just like you said, it was just the slow... I don't even know how to put it. Just that slow killing time for EMP. Just taking out mechs one by one by one by one by one, lessening your chances to be able to finish mechs.
Yeah, absolutely. Just using every bit of their armor, every part of their mech to soak up damage, and of course rotating out and sharing it amongst their teamwork. So it's probably the thing, maybe alongside positioning and understanding the battlefield awareness, but that ability to share armor and to rotate and just use every hit point that your entire team has is one of those things that really does set these teams apart. But EMP were trading against less mechs. 228 had gone all in sending the piranhas around through Zimbabwe to try and get a gank, but they perhaps needed to be a little bit more patient. They were a little bit strung out as a school of three, and when they did intervene, EMP were just easily able to turn around, push towards them and take them out. So yeah, well done for trying something. I mean, I think they needed to against EMP, but at the end of the day, they just weren't able to pull it off.
You guys waiting on us?
Speaking of these guys, welcome.
Hola.
Hello.
Well, I was hoping you guys would have used lube.
So welcome to Seabiscuit from 228 and Bowser from EMP. Yeah, that was a pretty comprehensive victory from EMP. Seabiscuit, obviously, DFA were hoping to take some drops and put yourself in as good a position as possible to get that win for Div A. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case now. But
Nope.
How are you feeling after that match?
Honestly, a little disappointed. We did pretty well against Blackwatch in our scrims, but I think it's just because we play Blackwatch over and over again all the time. But yeah, you guys didn't do what we had planned you on doing.
And welcome to everyone's favorite Australian. Just call me Ash.
Hey, what up, dudes?
Hello.
So, Bowser, just very quickly, and for Ash, what did you guys expect out of Death from Above? Did you expect anything unusual, or was it just more worrying about what you guys were going to bring?
Honestly, no. Everything they brought was exactly what I expected and predicted. The only difference was I expected they'd bring more AMS and drops 4 and 5.
Sure.
Because ECM does nothing against ATM, so I was surprised they stacked ETM like that. But
Yeah, that last drop that's why we had the streak boat. We just thought, looking at, what mechs had already had and brought and all the rest of it, we're like, yeah, there's 3 piranhas definitely coming as drop, and yeah, drop the streak huntsman and we'll bang on with it. So
Yeah.
I
mean,
Black Lantern's a little bit of a surprise. We weren't exactly planning for that, but kind of doesn't really matter, I guess, in that sort of domination like drop when it's just a full-on brawl.
Well, let's start with drop 5 and Seabiscuit. That expected the piranhas. You guys kind of sent the piranhas out into Zimbabwe and tried to get a gank. I mean, what was the key thing that you were trying to achieve?
Honestly, we had 3 piranhas go straight for MC, hoping to catch one. I know if they had a light C3 piranhas, it'd probably just run anyway, but of course we didn't see anybody there at Epsilon, and our main body was trading with their main body there in the Delta 5 hill, and on, Echo 4, on top of the mountain there. So we had pretty much just, it was either push up the Delta 5 hill and give us the percentage advantage on the trades, or the Echo 4 hill, or cap, and we chose the one that made us die first, apparently.
Yeah. The push from the piranhas was maybe just a little bit strung out. I mean, you were kind of leading the pack there, but Lawrence was in the back, maybe 100 or 120 meters behind you. I mean, do you think maybe they could have waited a little bit and timed that gank at the back there a little bit better?
We were planning on doing that, but when McGoat saw us right at the last second when we were about to group up, it kind of threw it into a little bad, anyways. And then there's miscommunication on how we were leaving, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was expecting a push from the assaults at that point when you guys started to run.
Yeah,
it was just a slight miscommunication with their team, and I called the push, and they're like, "Where are we pushing to?" And honestly, it was a last-minute strategy because we were playing just to fucking brawl you again. So
Yeah.
we thought the number one way to play against a team that has higher skill than us is to take as much skill out of the fight as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and when you're playing, possibly the best team in the tournament, you do have to kind of think outside the box. I mean, Ash, you responded pretty quickly. You dropped in the Blood Ass, but as you said, you had the Huntsman just ready, and Salith seemed to just go, know which way to go to head off the Piranhas as they escaped as well. So you dealt with it pretty easily.
You could hear on my stream the Goaty yelling at me, "Turn around!" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, God, I'm getting shot in the ass." I thought it was a teammate at first, and I'm like, "Oh no, hang on a minute, that was a bit more than a teammate." So yeah,
Well,
got
Bowser,
to be quick to react.
if I can ask you, I mean, it was always going to be a challenge for 228. EMP are obviously a fantastic team. I mean, do you think that they could have approached it any different, or if you were planning to go against EMP, do you think 228 could have tried something different?
So certainly on drop 4. Drop 4, I don't understand why they attempted to leg us. That's literally a tactic that does not work and is incapable of ever working, especially when you have more firepower than we did. We had 3 lights to their 2 lights, as far as I remember. So they literally had a firepower advantage, and yet they chose to leg us. I'm not entirely sure why that was the case. It would have been much closer if they had not legged us.
I also think maybe the Piranha drop might have worked better on drop 4 because at that point you don't know what mechs they could or could not be bringing. Basically, looking at all the drops so far, that's why we knew Piranhas were going to be coming on drop 5. So if they were on drop 4, it might have caught us a little bit more by surprise, like in that respect. Like we wouldn't have had Streak Huntsman ready, shit like that. So maybe if they sort of switched it up a bit, like drop 4, drop 5, like reversed it around, it might have been a bit different.
Seabiscuit, for you, I mean, I hear Bowser and Ash talk about it, and it's above my level of understanding for this game. To understand that stuff instinctively. Is it an example of perhaps the gap between Div A and Div B? Is that these guys just understand that stuff and react, and it's really hard to design strats against these types of players and teams?
Honestly, like I was saying, for strats 1 through 4, we actually had 5 strats that were all brawl, pretty much. Like I said, trying to take as much skill out of the fight as possible by just holding W. We initially didn't have the Piranhas in drop 5, but when we decided, you know what, we've brawled 4 times in a row, let's just go with something we're a little bit more comfortable with, which is a little bit more of the long range trading. The Piranhas just kind of fit in there, and we didn't really discuss, having not had take them before, whether or not they knew we were going to take them this time. So
yeah, I mean that's a challenge. We again, as we highlighted it before the match as well, as do Death from Above stick with what they're good at, but then you face the problem of trying to say maybe outtrade the best team in the competition, or as you say, taking the skill out of it as much as you can is probably your best bet. And going down 5-0 to EMP isn't exactly a disgrace. It's a very, very good team, and every other Div B team that we've seen apart from Smokeheaders last week did the same. Went down 5-0.
Yeah, we all did it in the tournament.
Yeah, man, for what it's worth, we were hoping to play you on Terra or Viridian, which is probably why you banned Terra and Viridian. Just thinking about it.
I mean, Seabiscuit, obviously what was on the line was very clear for Death from Above. You guys had a difficult path to winning the division, but the path was there. Unfortunately it did go through EMP, which is tough for any team in the tournament. Ash and Bowser, for you guys, what was the attitude coming into this match? Were you wanting to make a statement, or?
Well, we got told not to.
I had heard rumors that they wanted to take a drop off of us, so I was like, I don't want to let that happen. What I'm feeling. So we went in honestly trying as hard as possible. So.
That's really good.
Yeah. And we got warned, no memes, no Lerm Atlas, shit like that, So just because I think Div B kind of depends on the outcome of these games. So if we threw, we got the stick, we got told don't go throwing because it's going to screw the division up. So we made sure we didn't do that.
You guys didn't have to listen.
Yeah, we don't want crazes coming down and chasing us and stuff, Like there's already enough drama in Div A at the moment. We don't need no more.
Personally,
We were actually thinking that drops 2 and 3 were going to be probably our best chances of taking any drops.
Personally, I love that. I mean, I love both Seabiscuit that you were, standing up and saying, right, we're gonna take some drops. We're gonna 5-0 EMP, and showing that confidence at least. And likewise, I also like that, for yourself, Bowser and you, Ash, you guys like, right, no meme decks, man. We're gonna, perform to the way that we know how to. And yeah, it's made for a great match today, even though it did go 5-0 because there was so much on the line. It's great that EMP showed up and 228 showed up as well.
Yeah, the our A team took what 2 drops from you the entire season, and you're saying with the confidence. If we went into this thinking we were going to lose every drop, the chances of us winning a drop is 0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we've said, it's a hard path when you have to go through EMP. So yeah, you kind of do what you can and try and get whatever advantage you can, I guess.
Gotta stay positive.
Oh yeah.
So
I
did
think
you guys?
Learning, and it's about learning as well, and just seeing what is that difference. You can go and review the streams and the tapes on the Twitch channel and stuff like that, and you can kind of work out where those gaps are. I know Bowser was streaming his stuff, so was I. Like, you can go listen back to in cockpit shit as well to hear what the comms are like, what's map awareness. Like, there's a lot of information you can kind of suck out of that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we knew as soon as it happened. Well, that's pretty much fucking it, but we're going to try. And I know, like, drop 3, Bowser and South came around the rock. We knew you guys were coming, and actually called to continue because we were pushing on to Vicious, or however the fuck you say his name. And I think realistically the call should have been to back off and just kill Bowser and South at that point. Because we were, like, right around the corner. I know you came right in on us, but
I think if you guys were tighter, because you guys were not too spread out, but just spread out enough where it would have taken a little bit to get back, where you couldn't sweep them by the time they got back to the team. But it wouldn't have taken much.
I was a little late. I was a little late dropping the strike too. I knew you guys were coming around, so I dropped a strike. So hopefully to stall you guys while we continued our push around. And I caught South with it a little bit, but you were hooking the wall a bit, Bowser, and managed to squeak out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing, particularly on the fly, and I guess Ash has probably just alluded to that before. That there is a lot to learn when you see the types of performances that EMP can put together, and say for budding teams like yourself, Seabiscuit, I know that you'd love Death from Above to keep on improving and get to that point where they can compete in Div A, and yeah, stuff like that, being able to make the right decision at the right time in the middle of combat is obviously stuff that EMP and those Div A teams can do. And yeah, it just highlights that it's hard to be at that top level until you've been able to master those skills that Ash was kind of alluding to.
Yeah, I think it comes back to, I guess, just general knowledge of the game. I mean, we didn't have decks planned out for Rubelite at all. Like, we just did it on the fly. We weren't even sure how many Mad Cats we had left or whatever. So we're madly looking through everything going, what do we even have? It was just sort of slapped together. Okay, we'll just run with this deck and make it work, So
But you weren't allowed to run half your deck. All the meme deck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. We had Learn Atlas ready, man. We're not allowed to do it.
Yeah, no skull commissions this time.
Well, it was, an impressive performance, Ash, and I guess it speaks to the skill of EMP as a team that you can rely on your knowledge of the game, as you're saying. The pilot skill that the types of mechs that you're taking are maybe not as important because you guys are good enough at the game that you can make good use out of anything that you run there.
Yeah, for our team that we got put together in the middle of January. I'm not upset with how we did against EMP. I'm upset that we didn't take at least one drop, but shit happens. We'll come back and we'll beat you guys in IC. It's all right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, there we go.
Awesome. And look, congratulations, Seabiscuit, to you and all of your team. You guys were fantastic this season, and a hard path to go through EMP, but you can't overlook the fact that you were competing to win this division. You've put yourself into that position, with 4 good wins and only 2 losses leading up to this match. So yeah, you should certainly be, giving yourself and your team a pat on the back. And yeah, obviously well done to EMP, both for winning your division and of course going through undefeated as well. So yeah, some fantastic stuff.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Thank you.
Now, third or fourth place, I guess, for Division B is what we're looking at.
Yeah, well, it will come down to those other matches, and obviously 2 very important ones. How White Knight Legion and Potato Killers go against each other will be interesting, and Seabiscuit, you'll be hoping that they virtually cancel each other out. You'll take 10 points from today's match, but they are still White Knight Legion's 3 points behind you, and Potato Killers are 5 points behind you. So yeah, you'll be wanting those guys to cancel each other out a little bit so that you slot into either second or third in the div.
I am looking forward to casting that tomorrow. I tell you what, it is going to be a great round out to that Div B season. Like, it's such an important game for 3 teams or 4 teams or whatever. So
yeah, and how fantastic, Ash, that it's been like this. I mean, System and I were talking about it during the cast, but it's such a feather in the cap of the tournament that each of these last rounds have been so meaningful. We had EU Div B that went down to the wire. We have EU Div A going down to the wire. NA Div C and now NA Div B in this last week is still up for grabs.
Oh, look, I think it's a testament to the rules, the admin, the shoutcasters, everything has just come together really well, and shows that, despite what people keep saying, MW Comp is dead and blah, 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 it's very much alive. It's pretty competitive across most divisions. And I'm sure that the Death from Above dudes are going to be sitting there edge of seat tomorrow looking to see what the result's going to be.
Yeah, and just their Smoke Eaters should have been looking at this one on the edge of their seat. So yeah, shout out to Smoke Eaters crew. I'm sure that they watched this one pretty nervously.
Yeah, the Smoke Eaters, they're a really good bunch of guys. And again, I haven't had a real issue with any of the other Div B teams.
Except that Clan Crossfire, they've been a pack of bastards.
Well, they got Aussies on their team, so can you blame them?
Yeah, agreed. It's pretty tough dealing with Australians.
That it is.
All right. Did you guys want to say anything else before we finished up?
Thanks for the games, guys. I would actually look to be scrimming you guys for ISC sometime. I know we have a lot to improve, and getting our shit pushed in is probably the best way to improve. So.
Nice. That's an interesting take, but yeah, let's hope you guys can get some scrims out of that.
Yeah, we haven't even talked.
We have no plans for ours. We have no plans for RSC at the moment. I think we're going to, but we don't know. It's going to be like last minute. So.
Yeah, it'll
be team last minute for us, 100%. Like, whether we enter one team, we're even talking about maybe entering 2 teams. Like, no one knows yet. So
so Death from Above is going to be entering 3 teams into ISC probably Monday. It's going to be Death from Above, Death from Below, and 228 Snack Watch.
But
nice.
No Death from Within?
Nope, Snack Watch.
288's coming in, baby. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a crew. I'm going to get a team going.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, hey, look, thank you, Seabiscuit, Bowser, Just Call Me Ash, for the interview, and thank you for today's game.
No problem. Thanks for casting. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for casting, boys.
No problem.
Yep.
And yeah, tune in tomorrow. We've got more coming, like for this Div B season. So make sure click the follow button on that MWO League's Twitch channel. Get the notification when we go live tomorrow for Div B cast. It's gonna be good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely looking forward to that one. All right, throw to System and to close us off.
Yeah, I'm going to get you guys out of here. So yeah, good drop by EMP for the win. 228 still doing a great job in Div B. So like I said, we'll be excited to see this match tomorrow, and then with the other 2 that are happening hopefully soon. Yeah.
I mean, disappointing for Death from Above. I think they would love to have taken a drop or 2 to really put the pressure on Smoke Eaters, but EMP had that glint in their eye. I think. I mean, they made some offhanded comments about not being as prepared or throwing stuff together at the last minute, but it certainly seemed like they brought their serious pants, and yeah, they performed as though they were taking it pretty seriously.
Oh, there we go. Not muted. Yeah, and it's good to see that. It's good to see giving full effort when you're trying to do something with yourself. And I know Seas Biscuit's doing a great job with 228 and making a good run for, a slow rise up into the next div here. So
Yeah, absolutely.
one game at a time, boys.
Absolutely. And yeah, just another reminder, of course, to tune into those games. As Ash had mentioned, a very impactful game tomorrow between White Knight Legion and Potato Killers as NA Div B continues to be sorted out. We still have a game next week between Clan Crossfire and Smoke Adders, which may or may not be the deciding game. And of course, there is still the EU Div A makeup game
Yes,
between
sir.
JGX. Yeah,
I'm
and if
very excited.
If EMP were fired up this time to perform well, you best believe Eon will be bringing their best game. Lizzie certainly sounded frustrated with their performance last week, so very much looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, and everybody, so everybody knows. Check out the Incoming Missile podcast to hear any more news from this season, this week, and other things that come up in his life that he wants to discuss.
Yeah, well,
mech
and I will say
business-wise.
that, yeah, I know the accent can be a little bit hard to get sometimes, particularly with the auto caption from YouTube. But yeah, do subscribe to the podcast. We will be covering the upcoming tournament for ISC as well to give you the lowdown on what to expect there. So yeah, that one is in the works as well.
Yeah, and that'll be it for it tonight. So everybody, be here tomorrow for another one of the last Div B matches. And thanks, Indigo, for joining me today.
Hey, my pleasure, man. GG.
And we will talk to you all later. See ya.